croissant.
Hello, welcome back. I'm Croissant. I wanted to talk a little bit this week about my January 2026 gaming favorites. It was very Switch 2 focused. There's a couple gaming peripherals, Switch accessories, and 2 actual games that I want to talk about today. First up is the Satisfye Switch 2 Grip. I'll show a close-up video of this right now. The Switch by itself is not super ergonomic when you're just playing it in handheld mode. Your right thumb is kind of awkward. So having this grip is very helpful to make things a lot more comfortable, and is a reason why I've picked up my Switch 2 a lot more since December. Being able to play Switch games a lot more comfortably, perfect. Everyone should have one of these. Also, check out those keycaps, or not keycaps, but check out those little grips. These are awesome too. I don't know where I got these from. They were a stocking stuffer for Christmas, but great combo. Switch 2, Satisfye grip, and Joy-Con keycaps. Or grips. Second on my January favorites is the NYXI Warrior GameCube controller in Spice Orange. They have other colors as well. I'll put the link below. But this is pretty close to a normal GameCube controller. I'll show another close-up. Not only is the color of this controller great, but I played this pretty much my whole playthrough of Metroid Prime 4 when I wasn't playing in handheld mode. I was using this controller, and this one is mostly there. I do really like it, but there's a couple things that I don't necessarily. One major thing that I don't love. The buttons are nice, and they have that tactile clicky sound and feeling of a gaming mouse, and you can kind of hear it right now. These are the face buttons and the shoulder buttons. The triggers don't have that. They do feel good, but they don't have that clicky tactile gaming mouse feel to them. All the other buttons feel great. You can also change out the analog sticks, which is very nice if you don't like the way that thumbsticks feel. Personally, I like the smaller right thumbstick that is common for GameCube controllers, and then the left thumbstick is fine. I haven't really changed these out. You have a lot of options with this controller. You can play it on the Wii and GameCube with an adapter that comes in the box. You can also play it on your PC, and you can play it on your Switch 2 with Bluetooth connection. It works great. I didn't really have any issues with the controller when I was playing it. I haven't tried it on anything else though, only the Switch. My biggest gripe with the controller is the right thumbstick. It is a little different from the actual GameCube controller. It's not one-to-one. So when you're placing your right thumb on the thumbstick, it can be a little awkward with your hand movement. I'll show how that looks. But yeah, that's my biggest issue with it. I didn't have a ton of problems playing. It's just something I noticed. It's not going to keep me from using the controller when playing games on my Switch if I want to use that controller, because I do really like it. But just something to keep in mind if you're expecting this to be a one-to-one GameCube controller solution on your Switch or PC, if you're playing GameCube games through emulation or on the actual hardware. Just something to keep in mind. Now onto the games. First game, this isn't a full game, it's a demo. The full game is out now though. It's one of my most anticipated of the year. Have not picked it up yet, but Dragon Quest VII Reimagined the Demo. As I just said, this is one of my highest anticipated games of the year. I love the look of the game and it plays well. The demo proved me right that I was right to be excited about this one. It took me just about 3 hours to get through the whole thing. I think it was like 3 hours and 12 minutes, so not a ton of content, but enough time to play the game and get a feel for it. It went by pretty fast. Just as the story was picking up, it ends. So, I mean, it's a good spot for you to decide, okay, I want to continue seeing what's going on here, and I do. This is my first experience with Dragon Quest VII, so I can't really speak to the differences between the original game and this one. A lot of the reviews have done that and said it's an easier game, which I'm not super upset. Cutting a 100+ hour game to like 40 hours doesn't bother me. The story here in the demo puts you at the beginning of the game in the shoes of the hero, who is a young boy, lives on the island of Esterd in a fishing village called Pilchard Bay, and we get to meet his friends Maribel, the daughter of the village's mayor, who has quite a strong personality, and Prince Kiefer, I can't remember how they pronounce his name, but he is starving for adventure. And the adults on the island make comments about the island being the only one in the world, but after exploring this shrine of mysteries, the group of friends are transported to a foreign island, and I'll save the rest in case you want to try the demo out for yourself, because there's not a ton to this demo, so if I tell you what happens, you'll easily get spoiled, but that's as spoiler free as I can keep it. I tried the game both in docked and handheld mode. Both look great. It has that cutesy Dragon Quest look. It's almost like claymation come to life. It's very smooth looking and very pretty. And thankfully, the progress you make in this demo will carry over to the full game, so level up your character as much as you can before you finish the demo. And the final thing I want to talk about in this video is Metroid Prime 4. This is the first game that I beat this year, and while I did have a great time with the game, there were a few things that hindered my experience a little bit, that kept it from being like super amazing, that I think that they could have done different. All the different areas, the dungeons that you can explore, those were really cool. Love the boss fights. Everything in those areas felt fine to me. That was like my favorite part of the game. They captured that Metroid Prime feeling of you're navigating this place that you don't really know, you can't see everything, you know, you're finding those places that you can't get to yet, you'll have to come back to, and you can mark them on your map. And overall, it felt easier than the original Metroid Prime. I only played remastered, but navigating through this game, it did feel like the game held your hand a bit more. The game did feel more accessible. I didn't mind it. For people that have never played a Metroid Prime game, this is a fine place to jump in. This game also showed off what the Switch 2 can do performance-wise. It looks great and runs great in both docked and handheld mode, gorgeous visuals, and very smooth gameplay. Never really had a problem with slowdown or anything like that. Also, Samus's suit design was awesome, especially when you get the legendary suit. Spoiler alert, I'm going to show the legendary suit right now. But yeah, once you get enough green crystals in the game and you get that suit, that was a cool moment. I loved that suit a lot. I also enjoyed the music when you're in the different areas. You feel alone and isolated, and it captures that 2000s, early 2000s sci-fi like beat that was in the original Metroid Prime, and it further immersed me in this alien world, this ancient civilization that's been abandoned. However, the biggest drawbacks. So I did not like the hub desert area, did not like Soul Valley at all. It feels like that's a consensus with people that have played this game, that it's lacking and kind of boring. It makes sense in the context of the game's world, but it's not as interesting to play or as compelling to play. It's just barren, and you have some flying enemies that'll attack you every now and then you got to drive around and get those green energy crystals. And by the end of it, I was kind of bored driving around and getting the green crystals, but I knew I needed to get them to get the legendary suit. And you eventually do get an unlock where you can find the other green crystals, but that's not until you have 75% of them already. So at that point, it's kind of like, okay, thank you for giving this to me once I've almost done all of this. And this area contrasted with the exciting combat of like the flare pool and the ice belt. It makes it even more boring to go back to, because once you finish an area, or once you finish all 4 areas, then you're just driving around this barren wasteland for a couple hours or so and getting all these green crystals. It's could have been a lot more. My other gripe was the soldiers. It was cool to encounter other humans in the game, but I didn't really feel a strong connection with these characters. I don't feel like the game really did a great job at making me care about them. Spoiler alert, in the final cutscene of the game, when they all sacrificed themselves to save Samus, that was emotional, but I didn't feel anything. I didn't really care. I was like, okay, cool. They just saved Samus. Whatever. Maybe I'm just a cold, heartless bitch. I don't know. I did not care about these soldiers. So those are my gaming favorites of January this year. Let me know what games you've been playing or what hardware accessories if you got a new PC. If you enjoyed this video, please click like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton and lets me know that you enjoy seeing videos like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.